Evening. Apologize for the delay. Welcome to the Falls Township Board of Supervisors meeting for August 21st, 2018. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. The board did have an executive session just before our meeting tonight. We also had one 2 weeks ago. Mr. Clark, can you summarize, please?
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. On August 7th, the board held an executive session to discuss contract negotiations, specifically involving the township's police union and its AFSCME union. The board also discussed personnel matters and litigation. Earlier this evening, the board discussed several personnel matters and potential litigation.
Okay, thank you. Forgot to call the roll. Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Here.
Mr. Bransky?
Here.
Mr. Harvey?
Here.
Mr. Dents? Mr. Rocco?
Here. The records show Mr. Dents was detained at work, so he was obviously unable to be here. We're going to begin with our public comment. I see a couple names on the list. Jeffrey Stein.
Hello. My concern comments are about the alleged theft over at the fire company. $45,000, I understand, over 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Does the township donate? Would the township give money to the fire department? I read $130,000. Is that correct?
There is tax money. Some of the property tax money is given to the 3 fire companies: Falls Township, Levittown Fire Company No. 1, and Frails Hills Fire Company.
Because that's a big chunk of change, and
Right.
I don't know all the facts. Of course, I'm sure you know a lot more, but how $45,000 went missing and nobody noticed beats me. The concern is I'm somebody who goes through and donates to all these groups, went through my records, found I had donated $100 in about the past year. Of course, when that happens, I begin to feel like a little bit of a chump for doing so. Normal human response, I think. Since the township donates money to this and other groups, my question is, what rights by contract of donation does the township retain in these groups to audit, to review books, to see that that check that was used to pay a Citibank Visa card was like the fire company's Visa card and not Joe Schmuck's?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, and we were notified in January by current members of the Falls Township Fire Company. They had a change in leadership, basically, and the 2 individuals who were responsible for the illegal activity were both former officers who haven't been really in control for a couple of years now. So the money you just donated last year is good to go.
We hope. If there's no audit, how do we know?
No, there is an audit. That's how it was caught, actually, was an audit. Was that they came in and did an audit, and they found, the auditors obviously realized it was a problem. And what it came down to really were that the individuals who had carried out these activities had essentially made themselves very, very powerful in the company, and it sort of, in many ways, sort of pushed out people.
Powerful in the company,
yes.
if I may?
Yeah, pushed out people that really could have asked questions and did ask questions, and it's kind of unfortunate. Obviously, it's unfortunate that it happened, especially for the dozens of firefighters.
I have no evidence to believe that anybody who's there now is anything other but a 100% good soul.
Yes, yeah, and it's certainly, we knew the 2 gentlemen who have been arrested and charged with this, and it was certainly on the part of the one, I think it was very, very surprising. And with really both of them, you'd think it was, you'd believe that they had, even if you didn't agree with them personally and get along with them and everything they did in life, you would expect this was above and beyond what anything they would do. I will say that the current leadership immediately went to the district attorney's office and reported everything they had, and did absolutely everything correctly. Came to us and notified us at every single turn of everything that was happening, and we feel very, 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 very confident in that company, and as we do with the other two companies we have. We can insist on audits happening. They do them. We obviously can insist on audit reports being given to us.
Because I noticed the township gives to quite a few groups, some of which are, most of which are very good, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
as you say, there's that 1% that makes its way in there, and you're like, gee.
We do insist. We give, for example, we donate money to the Historic Fallsington for Fallsington Day, to the Bucks County St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, to the Delaware Valley Vietnam Veterans, just to name a couple, American Legion for the Memorial Day Parade. We do insist that they give us budgets, and we have that when they have to ask us for the money first, and they have to outline where the money's going.
Do we
and we have the right to
maintain
look at that.
any contractual rights? Like if, per se, something isn't right, that the township has a
Well-
right to recoup?
We certainly, I think the bigger problem for them would be if we found something like that and just publicly publicizing it, I think would really do tremendous damage to those organizations. You know, that certainly we could go after them legally. We've never found anything like that. We had a lot of discussion with the fire company, their current leadership, as well as with the Bucks County detectives about, in other words, we had to be satisfied. They wanted to make sure we were satisfied with the money that is going to be repaid. The one gentleman in particular has agreed to repay everything that he, you know, misspent. The other gentleman apparently is not agreeing to that. You know, I think that's going to weigh more heavily on him when it comes time for sentencing, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, we would hope.
Yeah, and I have no doubt of that. But yeah, it certainly was something that, you know, in the 15 years I've been on this board, I never had to deal with before, and hopefully never have to deal with
I
again.
mean, I realize money is all fungible, and we can't separate the township
Right.
money from the donation money, but
Right.
no matter how you slice it, township
Yeah.
money didn't go where it was intended.
Yeah. So, and we know that this new leadership has put in different policies in place to make sure that doesn't happen again, in terms of making sure that multiple people are involved, and that was something that wasn't necessarily happening for a while with the company, and that's, you know, that was unfortunate. And
A little bit more open books, I hope.
yeah,
and-
yeah,
and 3
and
years
more
from
people
now-
involved.
And 2-3 years from now, when leadership changes, it's not back to the same
Right.
oligarchy.
Right. But okay.
Alrighty,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Guido Mariani.
Hi. During a recently passed meeting, I said with the legalization of medical marijuana, legalization for recreational use would not be far behind. Well, it's here. State Representative Jake Wheatley's plan would fully legalize marijuana, and according to Eugene DePasquale, he's the Auditor General of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania would collect $581 million in additional tax revenue. Now, legalizing recreational marijuana is not about improving the general welfare of the public in Pennsylvania. It's all about additional money for government to squander, and squander they do. Now, understand there's a difference between medical and recreational marijuana. Medical marijuana laws provide a regulatory framework that assures medical subscriptions are used only by those to whom they are issued, hopefully. So I'm again requesting this board to pass an ordinance to ban marijuana sales ahead of a state bill that's going to legalize this drug in Pennsylvania. The legitimate concern about the impact of this activity include questions about existing land uses and developments, the potential adverse health and safety effects, and the serious harms such as the overburdening of public safety resources and the unlawful use of marijuana products, which will be multifarious once this thing gets going. Now, I'm asking the board to pass an ordinance that will block all marijuana establishments from opening in Falls Township, including dispensaries, cultivation facilities, manufacturing plants, And the ordinance, of course, we understand is not going to apply to prescribed medical marijuana, which is legal. I'm saying amend the land development codes, the prohibited use section, to include licenses, selling, distributing, cultivating, growing, and facilitating the sale of recreational marijuana, including any ancillary or related paraphernalia, okay? The proposal to legalize marijuana in this state, I believe, is part of the ultimate goal of that liberal marijuana lobbies running around, and they want to legalize all drug use, which has gotten me to the point where every time I see liberal, I've come to the point where I think liberalism is a mental disorder. That's why we have the things that are happening. There were 72,000 deaths in 2017 from overdoses alone, not from needle infections, disease, accidents, overdoses alone. So I'm asking this board, let's go ahead and pass an ordinance. I think we can. We have the council to do it. They may want to wait. That's, with all my respect for our council, I would say I don't want to wait. I want to get this thing done. I want to get it done now. I want to do everything I can to destroy these people. Keep this death rattle out of Falls Township. I'm telling you, it's a death rattle. It's more than a gateway drug. It's a death rattle. So I will thank you. If you have a question, I can answer it. I want to ask Mr. Rocco to just pass this down.
All right, Mr. Renner, thank you. Just so you know, I haven't talked with the other members of the board. I personally am against recreational use of marijuana being legal. But I also have to kind of point out from the political science point of view, I think the description you were giving of legalization of all drugs is really libertarian. It's not really liberal, and libertarian is more a form of conservative politics than the liberal side of the wing. So
I can go down a list of some of the liberal things that are going on,
well,
and I have to tell you, it's a mental disorder.
well,
Okay, I can give you a list. We don't want to do that tonight. We're
Yeah.
rolling. But if you need it, I have it.
I'm sure you do.
Believe me. Okay?
I'm sure you do.
Yes, I do.
Social Security was a liberal idea too, by the way.
Let's get on these people.
No, I hear.
Let's
I hear
not just get them out of office. I want to destroy them.
Well,
Okay?
all right,
Where I'm
thank you.
coming from. Thank you.
Lisa Farrell?
Hi, Lisa Farrell, Falls Township resident. I don't know if I can top that. Because I'm a disease, I don't know. You're all familiar with Alkayne, and I don't know if you're familiar with the fact that they have come back. They were passed, their application was passed by the PADEP on July 26th.
Well, the application wasn't passed. They passed through the first stage of completeness.
Phase 2, yeah.
So that now Phase 2, review of Phase 2 begins. The
10 months
roughly
period.
approximately 10-month review. Yeah.
Depending on how things go.
Right.
So I just wanted to, I knew you would be aware of it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to state that we are all still against it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, like, they're going to be getting their permit, going to be putting out for permits. And this area is a non-attainment zone. And a non-attainment zone, for those who don't know, is an area where they have met the limit of the air quality that should be allowed here. And we are that at this point. And I don't know how we can even accept anything else that would be contributing to the air quality of this area. We are second to Philadelphia in air quality in the state of Pennsylvania. Just us right down here. And that's not right, So I'll just, a couple things have changed, and I'll just reiterate just a few things, and then I'll get out of your way. They have changed the number of chemicals that they're going to be using to 268, which in my mind is not a big deal. Anything over 3 is something that I would be concerned about, mixing those kind of chemicals together. We still have the water, drinkable water problem. Anything goes wrong, goes downstream. The facility is going to be located on Biles Creek, 800 yards from Biles Creek, which goes right into the Delaware, because obviously Delaware is a tidal river in that area. Let me see what else here. We still have 17 to 25 truckloads per day coming in and out for that area. That's in addition to the waste management trucks. So that's a pretty hefty, well, I don't really know. It's hard on the roads, is what I want to say. And we have the school, 10,000 plus kids in the area right around it going to school there. That's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids to be around this kind of stuff, especially if something goes wrong. And I read about it all the time. There just recently was an oil spill up the Delaware River. And they said this past Sunday, it came through our area. You don't know this stuff until you research, but it's happening all the time. So if anybody wants a copy of this flyer, we have some at the back table, and we also have yard signs out front for anybody who'd like to take a yard sign and put it out. And also one more thing, when is Woolston Road going to get fixed with the potholes?
You mean underneath the tunnel, or?
Oh, underneath the whole road is terrible.
Well,
I
certainly-
drive like this on it.
Yeah,
so-
we'll have our road crew go out. They did work last year, I think, or under the tunnel. I think we did some work, patching
Yeah.
work. So we certainly could take a look at it. Have the road crew take a look at it.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
That's be good. I'll just
Thank you.
get this, send it down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clark and Meg Martin. This is one of our new businesses. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I actually.
Well, wait till you get the mic. Yeah, wait till you get the microphone, because they won't hear you otherwise.
Thank you for this opportunity. Mary Jo said that if you're a new business, you should come to this particular meeting and introduce yourself. And
Sure.
Mary Jo and I go back. I am the secretary of the Falls Township Fire Company. I wish that gentleman hadn't left. I could have explained a couple things. But I also know when Mary Jo recommends that you do something, it's kind of like the Godfather recommending that you hire a son-in-law. So she's actually been very wonderful. We own Box Drop Mattress on 163 Lincoln Highway. In the same strip center as Cooper Electric, right next to Peruzzi Nissan. I'm a lifelong Falls member. My wife is.
I'm from Philly. I moved here in 2013.
Okay. But I did want to say I look forward to doing business in this township and more than just living here. And also, we were told, I was told to expect some real horror stories and expect the worst of times trying to get your permits. And the fact is, it wasn't that bad. If you say please, and you say thank you, and you say sir, and you say ma'am, it's amazing how quickly things can move. So if you're wondering about permits, try being nice. It's worked for me for about 43 years.
Works for a lot of stuff, doesn't it? It's funny how that happens.
It does. It also helps to pretend you're a little dumb and need some help. Can't you just help me? But I thank you for this opportunity. And if you ever need it, I don't want to put everyone to sleep. Actually, we do want to put everyone to sleep. We're a mattress store. So I want to thank you for this
Right
opportunity.
across the street.
Well, we're doing our part to put people to sleep too. Just watching our show, just
Well, thank you for this opportunity.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you, and congratulations and good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's all the names we have on the resident sign-in sheet. Any other residents wish to speak? Any non-residents? See no hands. Okay, we'll move on to item number 2, which is a certificate of appropriateness for 133 Yardley Avenue. Mr. Gray.
Yes, the applicant is looking to replace portions of the roof where it is leaking. This has been reviewed and approved by the HARB board. The applicant's name is Aaron Friel. The board is asked to consider this a certificate of appropriateness at this time.
Okay. And this, again, for those that aren't familiar, this is something we do for homes that are in the historic district before they can have work done on the exterior of them. They do have to go before the Historic Review Board to make sure that the historic nature of the home is maintained. And then they approve or can recommend not approving it. It does eventually come to the board. I don't really recall us ever having, well, I think we turned one down at one point. The siding was a siding issue. So I don't know if Ms. Friel and Mr. Potter are here. Okay. Hello. Okay, so new owners of the house, I'm guessing? Yeah. Okay. All right, any questions for board members regarding this?
No, none.
None.
No? Okay. Is there a motion then to authorize this or grant the certificate of appropriateness for the roof repair?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 3 is Cavanta Metals LLC. This is amended final land development, Phase 3, 500 Middle Drive. Mr. Gray.
Yes, the applicant's proposed improvements consist of the development of Phase 2 of the project, which involves the total ash processing system in the leasehold area. Tonight, representing the applicant is Mr. Zach Sievertson.
I don't know which mic to go to.
Well, they both should work.
Yeah.
And you can set those easels up however you want. If you want to, feel free to move them around.
Good evening. My name is Zach Sievertson. I'm from the law firm of Eastburn and Gray out of Doylestown. Tonight I'm here on behalf of Cavanta Metals Management, LLC, who's the tenant over in the KIPC for this resolution relates to tax parcel number 1351-1, approximately 500 Middle Drive in the KIPC. The property is about 13.8 acres in size, and it's located in the MPM, Materials Processing and Manufacturing District of the township. So as was stated previously, this is a resolution to approve our Phase 3 development for the amended final land development plan. There have been 2 previous phases that have been before the board. The first phase dealt with the recycling of ferrous materials, so metal materials. The second phase dealt with non-ferrous materials, and so the third phase which is actually going to be located in the same building in between the 2 other phases, is a process called TAPS, which is a total ash processing system. Essentially, it takes the byproducts from the other 2 recycling phases and turns them into an asphalt product that is usable by PennDOT and roads. So essentially, like I said, we're going to be going in between the existing 2 phases and the former Kelly Pipe operation building and Tin 2 building on the KIPC property. All of the operations from the Phase 3 will be inside of that building. We're not proposing any additional impervious coverage on the property. And this was considered by the Planning Commission at its July meeting, and they recommended approval. So real quickly, I'll just go through the zoning ordinance. The use that we're proposing is permitted use under the ordinance. Under the subdivision and land development ordinance, we're requesting a few waivers. These waivers are consistent with waivers that have been granted for the other 2 phases of the development, and also waivers which are granted for most of the developments in the KIPC. The first is from section 191-36D, which requires all driveways to have curbs. The next waiver is section 191-37B, which requires curb for all parking areas. Section 191-37G1, which requires curbed raised planting beds for off-street parking facilities. A waiver from section 191-48, which requires street trees along all street frontages. Section 191-62B, which requires curbs along all streets adjoining the proposed leased area, and then a partial waiver from Section 191-78C2, which requires, it basically requires on the plan that we show information for every property within 200 feet. We're just asking for a partial waiver there. It's a fairly common waiver in these situations. I'm joined tonight by Kristen Holmes from Holmes Cunningham Engineering, as well as John Davis and Karen Stepsis from Covanta. They're here to answer any additional questions that the board might have about the project. So with that, I would just ask for any questions.
Okay, board members, any questions for the applicant? Mr. Galloway?
No questions.
Mr. Boraski?
No.
Mr. Rocco?
I have none.
Okay, I'm assuming, I think I saw a letter at some point answering some of these concerns, but the fire marshal had a couple of issues regarding fire protection and turning radius for vehicles. Did you see that?
Yes, I believe that a new letter was issued, and he had a chance to look at the plans and determine that we're in compliance with that.
Okay, good. Mr. Sullivan, any questions or comments from you?
I have no comments at this time, Mr. Harvey. Thank you.
Okay. Any public comment, questions? See no hands. All right, and everything's very straightforward. As you said, you've been in operation. How long has Covanta been in operation in Falls? 2015, okay. So, and as you said, the waivers are pretty straightforward, especially for this area. So this would be resolution 18-13. 18-13, which would amend the final land development for Phase 3, Covanta Metals Management LLC. Is there a motion to approve resolution 18-13?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay,
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate your consideration.
sure, thank you.
Good luck.
Signature.
That's okay. You can leave it up. We'll get it. I got it.
All right, item 4 is consider purchase of a vehicle for the Fire Marshals Department. Mr. Gray?
Rich DiPolito has secured a quote for the purchase of new Ford Explorer to be used in the Fire Marshal's office. This will be replacing a 2006 Ford F-150, which will become a spare for the department. This quote is from New Holland Auto Group. The amount of the purchase for the Explorer is $36,529. This has been budgeted in the 2018 Falls Township budget and is also on the CoStar's list. The board is asked to consider approving this expenditure. In addition, Mr. DiPolito is here for any questions you may have.
Okay, any comments or questions from board members?
No.
None.
No.
No? Okay. Public comment? See no hands. Okay, is there a motion then to authorize the purchase of the vehicle of the Fire Marshal's Department in the amount of $36,529?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Boraski? I'm sorry, Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
All right, item 5, consider resolution to approve, adopt, and place into immediate effect the updated emergency operations plan. You got all dressed up, Mr. DiPolito. Might as well come up here and... So this is obviously a revised emergency plan. We've had one, obviously, and they go through periodic revisions.
Yes, it's something that we try and update periodically. It's fluid, it's always changing. Recently, I know we worked on, between myself and Lieutenant Whitney, we've been working on an active shooter portion of the emergency plan. As hard as it is to fathom, or, we have to do it. That's been 99% done. That's in the plan. Like I said, it's something that changes periodically due to, changes in contacts or people or, there's all kinds of things that could change periodically. So it's just something we keep, and I'm asking that we just formally adopt it.
Comments or questions?
None.
So this would cover anything from hurricanes to floods to chemical spills to all that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a 3-ring binder that's that thick, and, from nuclear disasters to hurricanes, like you said, and tornadoes, and anything else you could possibly fathom. And it has emergency contacts if we ever needed, for example, dry ice or lumber. It gives us the ability to purchase and get this stuff on a whim, if we're not on a whim, but in an emergency, if we needed it quickly, who we can go to, who's agreed to our plan, and they're willing to work with us, things like that nature.
Okay. All right. Great. Any public comment needed? No, hear none. All right, this would be Resolution 1814, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And obviously, I think we want to begin by thanking you and Lieutenant Whitney and everybody else who's worked on this to keep it updated. And it's obviously it is a sort of a never-ending struggle to, as procedures change, policies change, materials change, situations that might arise, that you never thought of happening 2 years ago.
Try and plan.
Yeah.
We're in the early stages trying to do one here. Trying to, we go to businesses and try and teach them about emergency action and what to do in the case of an active shooter. We do it with all the schools, and we haven't done it here. So we're currently in the process of doing that, numbering our building the way we do all the schools, all the businesses. So hopefully we'll have that in the near future. And there is, part of that plan is being currently scanned in to try and convert it to Word documents to make, because a lot of it's memos and things that you would have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
So if that can be taken with software, made a Word doc, it'll make it a lot easier.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So.
All right, well, thank you again. So this will be Resolution 18-14. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Item 6 is consider authorization for advertisement for the 2018 road program landscaping. Mr. Gray.
Board is asked to consider authorizing advertisement for the landscaping portion of the 2018 road program. The anticipated timeline includes August 21st. Board approved the authorization advertise. September 14th, public bid opening. September 18th, board consideration for a notice of intent to award. October 16th, consider authorizing manager to finalize the award with the successful bidder. And October 17th, projected date of the start of landscaping work. The board is asked to consider authorizing advertisement at this time.
Okay. And for Mr. Sullivan, when the road program, I know we just passed the 30-day review period. When do we expect the contractors to be out working on the roads?
The contractors are scheduled to be out on September 10th.
September
to start
10th.
the project, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, and obviously we can't really do any landscaping work till after they're finished, and fall's a better time to start planting grass seed than mid-August.
That is correct.
Yeah, okay. All right, is there a motion then to authorize advertisement for the landscaping portion of the 2018 road program?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have minutes for July 17th, 2018. Any suggestions, corrections, comments?
No, but within here, it states that the meeting started at 7:08 and ended at 10:08, which is correct. It was just a long meeting for us. Very long meeting.
Excellent minutes as always. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from July 17th, 2018?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Okay. All right. Engineers report. Mr. Sullivan?
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. The one highlight for this evening has already been started to discuss was the 2018 road program. The contractor has submitted all the paperwork, so a responsible contractor determination will be issued tomorrow, and we'll finalize the award before the end of the week, and they will start on September 10th.
That's it?
And that's about it.
Comments or questions from Mr. Sullivan?
No questions.
No questions.
I have none.
No? Okay. All right. Is there a motion to accept the engineer's report from July 2018?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, bill list. Bills this month in the amount of $2,163,811.16. Of that almost 2.2 million. Excuse me. Of that 2.2 million, about 1.2 million is salary, insurance, In addition, there's about $40,000 for asphalt for some projects in the township, $18,000 in street light, energy for streetlights, $15,000 for fuel, about $40,000 for tree removal, which we approved last month, especially in the township park. And about $87,000 is state funding or from escrow accounts, which is put up by developers, so not township money, in other words. So again, it's a pretty good chunk out of the 2.2 million, 1.5, 1.6, something, maybe 1.7, just coming those couple of items. Comments or questions regarding the bill list?
No.
Okay, public comment? Is there a motion then to pay the bills, August 21st, 2018?
So moved.
Seconded?
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Okay. Chief? We have our chief's report.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good evening. I have a very short agenda tonight, but by far the first one is most important, as Mr. Galloway and Mr. Harvey will attest. A week from tomorrow, school gets underway. I had asked that all the motorists be ever vigilant with the school buses, school zones, all the children walking, so on and so forth. We will be enforcing the school zones very heavily this year. Penn Valley Road, South Olds Boulevard, Makefield Road, areas where we've had speeding in the past. Be cognizant of stop school buses, automatic suspension of your license passing a stop school bus. I think that's most important that our public knows that. The second thing is our annual Citizens Police Academy will be coming up on the 26th. If the public isn't aware of it, it's a 13-week course that we put together where we interact with our community. All members of the police department partake of it. Our staff gets involved in it. It's a great program. And I think we've probably been doing it 5 or 6 years now. And it continues to be very successful. It's another showing our transparency with the public here. And anybody that hasn't did it, we would ask that they look into it. You can go on Facebook and so on and so forth. And then if you've been there before, you're certainly welcome back. And we invite residents from other municipalities also. That's all I have this evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would just ask, and I'll open up to the board members. I know that we periodically do get questions, I guess maybe because of where we live, about traffic by Fallsington Elementary. There are no flashing lights there.
Yes, I forgot Fallsington.
No,
Thank
fine,
you.
that's
Thank you
fine.
for
Just-
reminding me now.
Yeah, and so
That's another one we've had periodic problems with in the past.
and that really is, I don't know in terms of percentage of walkers going to the school, but it's a pretty high percentage there too.
Most of them are walkers there.
Yeah. So, okay. Any other questions for the chief?
No questions.
I'm good, thank you.
No? Okay.
Thank you, man.
Chief.
Have a nice
Appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Gray, manager's report.
Yes, just 2 items tonight. First item is in reference to an escrow release. This is for McDonald's located at 475 South Oxford Valley Road. This is for release number 1. This is also their final release, $1,409. This is a letter of credit based on T&M's inspection of the project. The work has been completed to their satisfaction, and the amounts are recommended for release by T&M. Board is asked to consider this escrow release.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
Nope.
Is there a motion to authorize the escrow release, $1,409 for McDonald's?
So moved?
Second.
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
And finally, I just want to announce some new businesses that opened during the month of July. They include Stages Academy. They'll now be located at 8919 New Falls Road, Professional Tank and Environmental, 908 Trenton Road, Box Drop of Delaware Valley, 163 Lincoln Highway, and Luxury Auto House Group LLC, located at 210 Lincoln Highway. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Board comment? Mr. Rocco?
I have none. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Boraski?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Galloway?
No comment, thank you.
No slideshow from the trip out west? I was looking forward to that.
That's for
No?
next meeting.
Oh, okay, good. I did want to make note, as you heard Mr. Gray, and you saw in the beginning of the meeting, one of the things we've been trying to do over the past couple of years is improve, we think we have a pretty good relationship with businesses. We'd like to think that we're a nice place to do business, but we've been trying to, kind of improve that atmosphere as much as we can. The Live Here, Spend Here program, which was something that Mr. Dents started several years ago, trying to encourage people to, shop local whenever possible, help out your neighbors, help out your community by shopping within the community. And also announcing businesses, as you just heard Mr. Gray do. We've been doing that now for, has it been about a year or so? Is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, been about a year. Just every month, we make announcements, all the new businesses that are opening in the township you might be interested in going to. But we did have for a while a volunteer board called the Community and Economic Development Commission. And it was a board that was started about 2004, I think it was. And the idea, it's kind of gone through different lives in terms of what we wanted the people on that board to do, or try to do anyway. In general, we were looking just for volunteers who can help us as a township maybe get some information, some feedback from businesses, big businesses, small businesses, about things that we're doing well, things we could be doing better, in addition to trying to attract businesses here and think of ways to do that. Working with the Live Here, Spend Here program, working on a business directory on our website. And if you're looking for a certain business in Falls Township and you're looking for, a mattress, or you're looking for some place to where your child can learn dance, or you're looking for some place to board your pet while you go on vacation, you can try and find a place in Falls Township, and that's the idea. So, for a while, the CEDC had a different sort of agenda, because we asked it to do something different. Now it's sort of changed. So it's been a board we haven't put anybody on for a while, so it's been empty, and now we are looking for people that are interested. So if you are interested, you don't necessarily have to have a business background, but obviously we're looking for people that would have some knowledge and know-how about things that could help us make Falls Township even better than it already is. So if you're interested, certainly you can send an email to the township or to one of us, just with a letter of interest and some of your qualifications, and we'll be looking to make some appointments to that board in the coming months. It is it's actually, I think, a 5-member board. Okay, so we are looking for people to go on there. So, always, we have a lot of great volunteers, as we heard with our fire companies, and we'll hope to get some more. Okay? And I think that's all I had. I can try to think of something else, but I don't think I have anything else. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconding?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.